Good evening. Welcome to Soni Irabor Live. I am blessed amongst women today, and it's something that tickles my fancy because we're going to discuss issues ranging from what they do with children and the whole the whole issue about AI, artificial intelligence. I hope somewhere along the line we might be able to talk about emotional intelligence. Anyway, I have two ladies. The first one in golden yellow, I should say, is Solesi. And the second one in, oh wow, I don't know whether to say reddish, green, gold. No, there's no green.
There's no green.
Also, golden red, reddish gold, and that's Mukoso. Medidem?
Medidem.
Medidem, okay. Yeah. So, and my name is Soni Irabor, as you may know. But we will be discussing issues that relate to young people, how they are getting, getting close to being understood. And I don't know if we'd really understand them, but these ladies, she's an animator. She deals with children. She's a communicator through film. She deals with children. I'm a talker. I'm born to talk. So welcome to the show, Dami and Mukoso.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Now, let's really take it seriously. Training children, what is it like?
It's interesting.
Interesting, okay.
Yes, it's interesting. I won't call it draining. It depends on how you look at it. But it kind of reveals something about yourself, something that makes you want to be patient. It draws out patience.
You patience.
Yes, it draws it out from you, whether you have it or not. And it's also a learning part as well, because as we are teaching them, you're also learning, So it's a journey.
It's a journey.
Yes.
Is it a journey for you?
Yes, it is actually. I think teaching children, you see their own perspective. They see life differently. And particularly when you're doing something in the creative field like I'm doing currently. So kids are coming many times in environments where they're not seen and heard. Creativity is not necessarily, what has always been celebrated historically. So it gives them a space to shine and flourish. So you see kids coming in, shy. They have their little sketch pad where they've been doing comics for years and nobody has really celebrated. And then we come in there, we make it a whole big deal. And you just see them shine and flourish, as they continue to come into their own and their own unique, gifting.
It's very interesting. I wish I had met the two of you like 3 weeks, a month ago. I was at St. Xavier's School.
Yeah.
And I met 8-year-old kids. It was very interesting because I was warned to come down to their level. But I lifted myself up because they were so smart for me, So I just imagine being an animator. Can you describe that for me?
Okay, so I've always loved cartoons since when I was young. I just never stopped watching cartoons, and I was always fascinated by them. And then much in my teens, I found out that it's actually a career, that people actually did this for a living. And that was like a dream come true for me, that I could actually do this for a living. And doing that, so the studio now is 16 years now. And I remember 16 years ago when I wanted to start out on this path, there were no studios, there was nothing like that. People didn't understand what I was doing. But I had to take that leap of faith that this was something I know was working.
Were you an artist?
So
you draw?
I couldn't actually draw when I started, but I played a lot of video games. And then I jumped into the software. So I studied computer science in university, and then I jumped into the software and just started learning on my own, just nose into the software. Now, years into the space now, I've now learned how to draw. I'm now an artist. I paint in acrylic, in oils, and the likes.
You do?
I do. I do. But so for me, I always tell people that my journey in animation was reversed. Usually, people are artists and then come in. So I came in first with enthusiasm, with passion, with love for the art, and then from there, I also developed my skills. And it's why I always tell young kids that many times they see a painting or they see a drawing and they're like, oh, I can't do it. I said, no, art is a skill. And anyone can learn the skill. It's just really about your desire. At any age, you can actually learn the skill.
I see you nodding.
Yes.
So she's on familiar grounds.
Yes, she's on very familiar grounds. Can you take it from there? I'm someone that loves to learn and absorb, by You know, there's so many things. Well, as she was talking about, you know, entering the field from zero knowledge to, you know, it reminds me of everything that I've known. I knew nothing about it. I just had that enthusiasm, yes, about it. And from there, picked up, you know, things, observed others. And I think the most important thing is you have to come humble. You know, you can't be checking, maybe some people are better than me at, you know, because there's always someone better, but you just come in with this hunger. You know, the hunger drives humility out of you anyway. So you just come hungry and willing, and before you know, you just see yourself doing things that you didn't even know was possible, and you're, you know, and then of course the accolades and all that makes it very good for you. Yes.
How did you get involved with? You said filmmaking.
Yes.
So then with children,
yes.
I'm just wondering, how did it link?
Okay. Well, for me, I would say I had zero knowledge about movies. In fact, I didn't even know how anything production came about, but it was from church. You know, I was heading the media team in my church at a time, and we had that void that we needed to fill. So I just asked one or two people who can teach. I didn't even know what it was called at the time. You know, I just knew we wanted to have videos on YouTube and on Facebook. So how do we do that? So I started learning about programs and, you know, things like that. We organized a little rehearsal, a little training, and then we just kicked off from there. And I remember my first video was horrible, but it was good.
At least you did something.
Yes, we did
and you
something.
could assess yourself.
Yes,
okay.
yes. And from there, I just started enjoying it. You know, I enjoyed seeing things come to life. And I think that's the thing about creativity.
You saw things come to life.
Yes.
That's like
from your, yes, exactly. You know, when you imagine something and you're able to see it come alive, you know, from your mind to, it's always so beautiful. It's amazing.
I'm a bit more curious, having spent all these years believing that I was doing something. I can't believe that you, from what she said, you are creating things. You can make this cup move now.
Yes.
Eh? That's what you're saying.
Yes.
I mean, I don't mean physically, but on paper.
On paper,
yeah? Or visually.
Or visually, yes.
Okay. You can make a movie, can make me act.
Yes. And with AI, it's...
Now you have brought AI. Wait, we will discuss AI later, because that's one my head sitting. I'm still trying to get used to the meaning of AI.
Yes.
But I even mentioned emotional intelligence. But movie, I can act. Then somebody tells me, play this role.
Yes.
And I'll say, okay, I can do it. But I know I cannot do it. How am I going to be able to do it? You want to teach me?
No, I don't need to teach you. I think the first thing, and for me, it's everything in anything, is once you believe...
No, your lines are, everything is anything.
I mean...
Did you say that?
Everything in anything.
In anything. Oh, everything in anything.
Anything.
Okay.
Is you need to know that you can. If you think you can, I think there's a saying, whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. So the minute you think you can't act, you can't act.
So you are what you
say you are, or what you think you are. Yes.
Therefore, when it comes to saying, I can do it, I command it, that's what you're saying. You will it out of you.
Yeah, not just a wishful, willy thing. It has to come from a belief that it's possible, and a visualization. You need to see it coming alive. It needs to be real in your mind first. Then you
be real in your mind. Yeah. At this rate, I have to raise my leg. Like I can't. You need to be real in your mind.
Yes.
In animation, do you see that happening?
Oh, yes. Everything starts with an imagination, whether it's a story, a character, a location, it starts with an imagination. And then that imagination is now brought to paper, or now we do a lot of digital drawings now, and then from there, you now create the world. So you create the world, you create the characters, and then from there, you breathe life into those characters.
You think about it.
Think about it.
Concept. Then you visualize it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. What if I just say to you, Well, we'll soon go on break. But what if I say to you, can you conjure the image to come out?
Oh, yes, definitely. Whatever it is that you're describing, whatever words you're imagining, it's very possible for us to be able to visualize that.
You'll be juju woman. I'll be back. We'll just take a short break and then we'll be right back. Okay, so I'm with two ladies and they conjure. In fact, I just called one Winchi, you know. They conjure through animation and filmmaking. And the interesting thing is that we take these things for granted. And every generation, there's a new ideology that spreads around. We're talking of AI. We're also thinking and talking about young ones who can look at things and say they're individualized. All right, we'll talk about the individualistic nature of young people later. But then, if you're dealing with young people, filmmaking, animation, what's their state of being, a mind like? Let me ask you first.
I think many of the kids that we engage throughout the year, so we have a lot of engagements throughout the year. We have one-day workshops, we have summer camps and the likes. And many of them are actually looking for an outlet to be able to express their creativity. Because many times creativity is inherent. We're all creative beings. So they want to, these kids are already writing, they're already drawing comics, they're already doing some form of creativity one way or the other. Some of them are coding, you know, on their computers and tablets. So we're giving them an opportunity to even express that further. So many of them already have stories. Children are very imaginative. So they're already telling all these wonderful stories, and we're saying this is how you can actually bring these worlds to life through animation. And many times you see them, how they put it.
What disagree with you?
Okay. So we've had
Have you experienced that before?
Yes, we've had a few kids who are very opinionated as to how they want to tell their stories and what kind of worlds they want to, what kind of worlds they want to make. And many times we're trying to encourage them to tell stories, you know, that represent their own culture and what they also experience on a day-to-day basis. We have kids who are coming in with very strong influences from either it's anime, manga, or the West, and we're saying, how do you tell stories about your own day-to-day life and experiences as a child here in Lagos, Nigeria? And then you see that feedback sometimes, or many times, you know, kids are coming in with their own notions and intuition of how they feel they want to create and draw, and we're trying to give them a more structured and academic way of expressing themselves. And sometimes, you know, there's a friction here and there. But either way, I think usually with the kids, by the end of the, you know, particularly if it's a summer camp, 2 weeks, you see that a child who comes in, like we had one who loved, you know, manga and, you know, he loved everything, Japanese cartoons and animation. And at the start of the week, that was all he wanted to draw. That was all he wanted to do. But throughout, by the end of the 2 weeks camp, we saw the change, and he was like, okay, I could draw a manga that reflects my own culture.
African culture.
Exactly. So he had this fuse of, you know, East and African, and it was really beautiful. So it was good to be able to see that in him and see that progression throughout the week.
Now, can you translate that into film?
It's
people who want young children,
yes,
children who want to act.
Yes, who want. A lot of children are curious. Like she said, they are looking for an outlet for their, you know, for their mind. Their minds are filled with a lot of things, you know, good enough for them. It's a digital world, you know, unlike in our time when we all had to crouch and wait for.
So in your time, so wait about my time.
There were no TVs in your time.
Okay,
you know, so they are living in a digital world. There are stories all around them. There are, you know, things to pour out and bring out creativity in them. So they're looking for an outlet, and there are so many ways to give them outlets. And what we do is just to, first of all, help them think. Teach them that.
How do you help them think?
Okay, so this is it. So teach them that, you know, creativity is not just about producing, all right? If not, I could just scribble and say I'm creative. But creativity is about thinking about something worth producing, you know, so you can't take out the thinking element out of creativity. So we teach them.
How do you recognize when a child is thinking?
You see the intention in their product, yes. Mm-hmm. You see it, you see the process, you look at it, and you know, for instance, my son, I have a 10-year-old, when he draws, when he used to draw, he doesn't draw beautifully, But when he draws, I see the character in it. He could draw somebody spinning, which is not a normal. You would draw you would know the person is spinning for some reason. So you would see something outstanding in
So
a
that
creative.
means you are artistically inclined for you to see the spinning.
Not really. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe I am. Probably I am.
I'm just thinking.
Maybe I am.
Right.
But I think, yes, sorry. But I believe there needs to be that inclination, the art. Somehow, if you're going to teach people anything related to creativity, you yourself need to have some form of eye for art in order to be able to help them translate their minds, the thoughts in their mind out. So how you teach them to think is by, first of all, helping them to stop judging themselves,
Ah, okay. I was going to ask you, how do you deal with a moody child?
Okay.
Now you've talked about judging oneself.
Yes.
Because mood comes from being in a poor state of being or mind. How do you manage that?
It also comes from always being in your feelings, always feeling everything. Like a child could be from a home that is chaotic and they feel it, or in a home that is lacking in love, they feel it, they feel the absence of it. So sometimes children can't help but feel those things. So that's why programs like, Act2 and animation programs, for instance, would help them find an outlet to escape from the feeling, and just be in their creative self. I don't know, I hope I'm not going too deep.
No, this is very deep.
Yes, it's kind of deep, yeah. So if they're able to, it's like an escape, it's like a distraction. So distract them away from those things happening at home or, wherever else.
And so like quarreling parents, father.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Back to you. Animation. From what she has said, I can see the elements of individuality in a child. And then you're able to also determine when a child is moody or restless. How do you manage those aspects?
I think for us, we're trying to bring out the best in the child. That's the key, and really bring out that genius, because every child has that innate genius, innate creativity in them. So it doesn't really matter if the child is what you term restless or whatever. We try and say, how do you channel all that energy, that ball of energy that you have into your creativity, into your art? And many times you see, even sometimes we organize them trainings. I think earlier this year we organized a training for neurodivergent children, and there was a lot of things we had learned through that process. And at the end of the day, at the beginning of the program, we didn't even think it was something we could take on and really teach them, effectively. But at the end of the day, they even taught us a lot about who we are, even as instructors, as animators. And at the end of the 2 weeks, what they were producing, the works they were doing, and even how they've translated even what we've taught them is remarkable. So I think in the end of the day, I think giving opportunity to children is priceless. Giving them access is priceless. Giving them, opportunity to be able to shine is something that needs to be celebrated every time. So giving them as many opportunities, you'd never really know. Even children that you've termed, whatever that negative term might be, giving them an opportunity to see themselves in a new light, to see their creation come to life is a gift that, anyone getting that would just, would light up. It will light up their world, irrespective of, whatever circumstances currently going on, in their world currently. So giving them that light is very crucial.
Okay. There are 2 things I'm going to deal with now. No, 3. 3, I'm worried because there are so many children out of school because they have not been exposed or given the opportunity to learn creativity. There are those who are victims of circumstances because their parents don't have time for them. And then also, the children who probably don't even know the difference between being in school or being out of school. How do you manage such, if you like, discordant students?
I think for us, we realize that sometimes access is the issue, is the challenge.
Access.
Access, yes.
Okay.
So how do we provide that access to children in a way that is accessible to them? So many of the things we do over the entire year, because we have a whole calendar year of events that we do for children throughout the year. So we have one called Tuntopia that we held at National Theatre.
Called what?
Tuntopia.
Say that again?
Tun. T-O-O-N. Then
Tuntopia.
Topia, yes.
Tuntopia.
Yes, it's a Topia. It's a utopia of tunes. Yeah. So and that event was free, and it was made possible because of sponsors and partners who made that happen. So again, moving forward from that event is how do we ensure that we provide access to particularly children who are vulnerable, who don't have these kinds of opportunities.
You've used the word I've been looking for, vulnerable children. Due to no fault of theirs, they find themselves in a situation they cannot help. Okay.
So how do you provide that access to them in a way that, again, many times, again, opportunities, many times are scarce, but talent is abundant. So how do we ensure that those children who are talented, we're able to bring them out, allow their creativity and light to shine? And many times it's bringing those access to where they are many times.
Did both of you notice when Steve Harvey discovered a group called the Korodu Boys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Heard about that?
Yes.
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 Steve Harvey is a talk show host in America.
Yeah.
What did he discover? Your industry.
Yes.
Film. Okay. These boys got a movie recorded and animated. No, they didn't use it. It wasn't animated. They just reenacted
yes.
into an African setting. What's your reaction to that?
That is genius. That is creativity at its best, at its purest, that irrespective of their circumstances, they were still able to allow that light inside of them shine. And that light was so big that the world had to stand still and see.
Wow. Take it from there.
Yes, the world always sees. The world is always ready to see and embrace and accept, And I think, like she said, there's abundance of talent. There's so many talents that haven't been discovered. So many, and that's where parents...
Nigerians are doing very well.
They are doing very well.
They're very talented.
So well. And, I think that's where parents, have their work cut out for them, in as much as, kids are from vulnerable homes, and sometimes it's due to no fault of the parents, even, much less the kids. But you would know when a child is talented. You would know when a child has some kind of drive, some kind of passion. So you just need to do the little you can. Let's call it little you can to help that child, come out, the child's light to shine out for the world to see and make the world a beautiful place. Because that's the beauty of the world, when everybody's light begins to shine and sparkle and, everywhere just starts getting better.
We'll soon go on break, but before we do, I want to ask you a fundamental question. I said there were three.
Okay.
One is AI. That will be later after the break.
Okay.
But EI, emotional intelligence.
Yes.
You see a child, I used the word restless earlier. You see a child who is often confused because of the way either not the parent, maybe the parents, maybe the guardian, the impatience, the level of impatience they show towards the child makes the child live in a world that is trapped, and so it's restless and angry. Do you discover that?
Yes.
So what do you do?
First of all, you need to we try to make the space a safe space for the child. Once you come into this space, you are safe. I think everyone needs a safe space, a place where they can just escape from everything else that is happening and just be safe. So once the child feels, the first thing is to make the child feel safe before you even start trying to save them.
Because the child is looking for who will listen to him or her.
Exactly.
Okay.
So once they feel safe, that's when they can start talking about whatever else is going on in their life. But remember I talked about feelings. So even in as much as you're trying to make them feel safe, you need to also distract them from those feelings so that they don't relapse, in quotes. They feel safe enough to focus on other things while they are, trying to figure out whatever else is happening at home with their guardian and all that. And then if there's a possibility, we can intervene, but that one is kind of tricky.
It has to be. Parents will normally leave children in your hands, both of you.
Yes.
Hoping that you will do the magic.
Magic.
For the children to, But in a situation where you find yourself, limited because of that, do you talk to the parents?
Limited in what way? That we're having a challenge with the child, or?
Challenge with the child not responding to your expectations, and as an animator, you want to believe that the child will see things the way you see them, so they can do what you do.
I think for us, we've had such encounters in the past, and many times we're able to bring them to the parents. So that we had a student once whereby it was two kids, the elder sister and then the younger sister. We just noticed that the younger sister wasn't as enthusiastic about the class, as her older sister was. And many times the kids who come to our class already, as I said earlier, already have that, something they're already doing creatively, and this is just a way to elevate what they're already doing. We rarely have people who, don't have a clue, they're not drawing, they're not, making comments, writing stories or something creative in one way or the other. Their parents have seen something, that's why they brought them, to our class. We just noticed that she wasn't as enthusiastic about the class, but on engaging her, we found out that she's very passionate about fashion illustration, and things like that. And then we just
nobody
really...
else was seeing it that
yes.
way. Okay.
So we just really poured into her. We got her lots of tutorials on that. We pointed her parents in direction to say, this is a seed here. How do you, how do you support her, effectively to be able to ensure that this actually, comes to life? And we always constantly keep track of our children, even after they've left us, just to find out what she's doing now. She's creating designs. She's doing all these amazing things in the fashion space as a little, child. And God, we don't know where she's going to be in a few years from now. And even if we have anything, another example would be like behavioral. So like we don't really allow devices during the class. Like we had a child who was like constantly,
even adults, they don't respond.
Was constantly online while our classes was going on and was a bit distractive. So we had to just tell the parents to maybe, have the phone stay, at home during the class so that he can focus and concentrate. And once that was out, he turned out to be one of our, brightest kids in the class. So we always
so you finally got the best out of her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so ours is kind of different because we run in schools. Okay, so we go to school to have the club set up in the school. So we don't have that.
Summer camps.
We don't have summer camps.
Okay.
And we don't have interaction with parents. We interact. With
there's
school.
no.
No, there's no interaction.
But do you have interaction with teachers?
Yes, we have interaction with teachers.
Okay.
We have.
And when you do, what happens?
We just point out, like, okay, this child is, because we have logbooks where we fill feedback, forms and all.
We have a logbook, yeah.
Yes, so we have feedback for the parents and teachers, and then some parents will go through the teachers to want to know, because they can't interact directly with us. So they go through the teachers to want to know what's going on with the child. And then we so it's like a middleman kind of situation that we have going on. So, but for us, when we have a child that is, I won't call any child difficult, but when we have kids that are finding some things challenging, we just mark it in the logbook and then give a feedback to the teachers so that they can give it to the child. But most times, it's rare because it's a school setting and the kids are looking forward to that escape from academics. So they are eager to be in that space of play and fun and excitement and play with gadgets and all that.
Creativity is like a good game, actually.
Yes. So we don't get those behavioral, we don't,
Well, one last question before we go on break, which is, in Nigeria, they say the North has 13 million out-of-school children. The South has a lower figure, I think about 5 or 6 million out-of-school children. It's not a good number for any country. How can both of you, any of you, or people like you, play a role in, infiltrating those elements and segments and helping out? Yeah.
Okay, so I guess Definitely, those numbers are staggering.
Staggering.
They are staggering to have
Scary.
that many out-of-school children in Nigeria, and it definitely has to be addressed and dealt with. I think for us, it's about the skills that we have. So we have a platform called Keko Africa, where we're teaching kids about African history. But we're even asking ourselves even deeper question as to how can we use animation to actually impact education. So we have different kinds of learners. Like I, for one, struggled in early education because I'm a very visual learner, and much of our curriculum back then, and I think even still now, was very auditory, was very different from the way I learned. So there was a lot of challenges. But I'm somebody with the video, with demonstrations, with things like that. Like biology was one of my best subjects, and that's because it had so many images, and it was easy for me, so many pictures, and it was just easy for me to digest those images. So you have different kinds of learners, and how do you ensure that you're accounting for all those kind of learners so that at least even the ones that are in school are getting adequate knowledge. And even now with the invitation of the internet, smartphones, even in some of these remote communities, how can they get learning devices? How can they get that learning delivered to them daily where they are, even if they cannot get to schools?
Where they are, if they have access to the device.
Have access.
Yes.
That's a major issue. Even though we see all kinds of videos from different kinds of bushes and forests, we don't know where they get it from.
I don't think it's something an individual or just one organization can do, because with those numbers, I was like, geez.
Staggering, right?
Yeah. So the government would still have will have to play some role in it. It could be internet access. There's no reason why anywhere in Nigeria doesn't have internet access. As in, it's like a basic necessity right now.
Okay. So, well, we'll go on break, and then when we get back, we'll go on AI and internet access and those things, and of course, parental influence on the child. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Yes, Dami and Mukoso. They are telling us some things we take for granted, probably didn't even know about children, and it's so important that we should notice the word, that the emotions count a lot. Especially now we have age of, okay, what are the ages that you deal with?
So we deal with 8 to 13 mainly, but sometimes we go younger and sometimes we go older depending on the class.
When you say older, how old?
So we have different programs. For children, definitely 18 and under, but we also have interns who are 18 and above or who have graduated from university.
Okay, what about you?
Okay, children from like 7 to primary and secondary schools. Children.
Secondary school, you have
Yeah.
ages 14?
14, 15 to 16.
16.
Yes.
And yours is 18. Okay. And who are the gens of this world? I'm a baby boomer. You're millennial.
Millennials.
And we are currently with Gen Z, and Alpha is around the corner.
They are matching.
Okay. So, can you break it down for me? Who are the Gen Z? Age what to what?
Gen Z would be from age 14 to, I believe, 28.
Oh.
Yeah, 28.
So a 28-year-old is a Gen Z.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So who are the Alphas?
Okay.
That's younger.
Younger, from 13 down
Downwards.
to anybody still being born now.
So, yeah.
All right.
Yes.
How do you measure the thinking of a Gen Alpha?
Okay, they are born in the AI age. Gen Zs were born in the mobile phone age, so they had access to mobile phones while we didn't even know what a mobile phone was, Okay, so the Gen Alpha, they are born in the age of AI. They're born in an age where you don't need to stress and hustle so much for information. You're born in an age where things are easier than for the rest of us. So sometimes things that we would see as you have to be patient and wait for it.
That's why you used it in your introduction. Patient, okay.
Yes. You have to wait and beat the time. Gen Alpha don't believe in waiting, and these are kids now.
They're very individualized.
Yeah, totally. And patience is not even a word they understand. You know, you see a child that is 6 years old, you know, speaking out. They don't even, they are not afraid to come to you to tell you, give me my phone, or I was sitting on this chair, get up. You know, it's not in their vocabulary that it's.
But isn't it in your place as a parent to at least correct?
Oh, definitely.
And how do they react when you correct?
It depends on how you started with them.
What's that supposed to mean? Papa, don't tell Pikin, say, do this. You say it depends on how you...
No, what I mean is that for a child to get to that point where they can come to you to tell you to get up from their seats, it means that you must have been, you know, not have started early to discipline them.
Oh.
Yes,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
In as much as the Gen Alpha are
they
very...
see you a disciplinarian as somebody who is aggressive?
No, no. You are not being wicked.
Wicked.
No.
That's definition. Nollywood. Okay, please let me hear your own version of this.
Okay, so with the different generations, I think each generation has something they're trying to say, trying to prove. I think with the Gen Zs, I have a few. Almost more than 80% of our team is Gen Z, or 20. We have a team of 20, and they're all Gen Z. And I think with them, because they've grown up in this very fast-paced world, they are looking for, you know, relevance, they're looking for impact, and they're looking for things to happen quickly. You know, while
Relevant,
impact, yes,
and quick happening.
And things to happen the speed, they just want that speed. And I think it's because, you know, it's how they've grown up. They've grown up on the internet, they have a lot of access to information, they're seeing what is going on with their peers globally and around the world, and because of that, they are very exposed.
What if they are exposed? You say they are very exposed and they have access to information. What if the information is misinformation?
I think that's the challenge we have right now with the internet, because anyone can come online and just say what they want to say. And many times, I don't think everyone has I think the word is media training, to be able to see where their fact is coming from. And that's conversations we're constantly having, you know, at the office, as to someone says something, I'm like, where did you get that from? Oh, online. Like, where? What particular? Was this a news? You know, was it a credible source? Like, or was it just somebody just speaking? You have to be able to know where your information is coming from and be able to verify and fact check. Particularly now, and I can imagine what would happen, you know, in the next, you know, 3-4 years, when AI now becomes really, you cannot even tell what you're seeing with your own eye, you know, if it's really true, because you have, you know, there's capabilities for people to be able to, you know, clone you in a way and say things that you did not even say. So we now even need another level, you know, of training to be able to say, you know, we need to fact check and ensure that whatever information that we're receiving is actually accurate and it's not being, we're not being manipulated, you know.
How do you fact check? The source has to be credible.
The source has to be credible.
How do you know a source is credible?
I think largely, for me, I rely on, you know, on I would say what you call the heritage media brands and what they're saying. Because I feel like with them, they still have a level of diligence, you know, to the public and to, you know, whatever, you know, institutions that they serve, to at least give a version, you know, of the truth. So for me, I'm always like, where did you hear it from? Is it one of the credible, you know, traditional media houses? If it's in news. If it's not in news, then you also have to, like, sometimes it's a report. So it's a report we're trying to use for some kind of project or the like. So it's like, where are you getting that information from? Again, is it credible? Is it, not, I hope it's not just, you know, garbage in and out from maybe, you know, ChatGPT or any of the AI sort of. You have to also fact check and say, okay, it's great, this is a good idea. How do you even verify? And many times you can even do it within some of these AI platforms. So you need to ask, what are your sources for this information? And it will tell you, I need links, you know, to be able to back what you're actually saying.
This news, is this advertorial always going on? Go and learn AI.
Yes.
Doesn't matter your age.
Yes.
Go and learn AI. Adult education, AI. Gen Z, AI. So what is AI?
AI is artificial intelligence.
Okay.
All right. It means getting...
Why is it artificial?
Because...
Intelligence is intelligence, Abi?
Yes.
Why artificial?
Because it's not original.
Okay. It's not original.
Yes,
right?
because it's not from just a purely human POV. Okay, it's an intelligence that has been manipulated to be correct, regardless of.
You use the word manipulated to be correct. Was there any intention to be incorrect?
Yes, there's an intention. For instance, let's say you put on ChatGPT and say, what's the best food, what's the favorite food for the Yorubas? Am I right? Yorubas like to eat ofada rice. And then you're like, oh, I thought Yorubas like amala. Oh, you're correct.
Okay.
Yes, it does that, you know.
Mhm.
So that's why I said manipulated. It would actually give you an answer based on the history it has about you, what it has
Right.
perceived that you want to get. You know, because if, for instance, I could type something, show me a picture of a white cup on my chat GPT, it will show me this cup. If she types it, it will show her a different cup, you know.
But
But it's still a white cup.
Okay.
It would not give you the same answer every time. It would be different based on how you have trained your AI. I think that's another conversation anyway.
It's interesting because I deliberately asked that question. AI appears to be, use the word manipulated. AI is in itself manipulative,
Yes.
isn't it?
If it is manipulative, if you do not direct it, all right.
What does that mean? If you do not direct.
I think for me, when it comes to AI, I see it as a tool, like any other tool that we've had in history, that's here to serve. So the
So
tool
once
is
there was a computer,
computers,
Yes.
even
then
before computers,
cell phone,
cell phones,
Internet,
internet.
cars. We have a lot of tools that have always helped humanity, and humanity is always evolving. But I think a lot of people talk about what the possible dangers are for AI. But I think for me is looking at what are the positives and how can it actually solve problems. And I think there are two schools of thoughts, particularly for my own industry, because our industry was one of the first hits, you know, for AI because of, you know, Gen AI and the likes. And I think right now that, you know, all that is dying down now, and we're now figuring out, you know, what the outcome truly would be. I think now there's a new school of thought coming out now that is saying, what does a human-centered AI look like? What does that world truly look like? And what are the conversations, you know, around that? So there's a school of thought whereby you have AI just say, write me an essay, and then it just, you know, spills, you know, its whole.
Because of what you said now, somebody was on this show a few weeks ago about AI, and he said something like, you can tell when AI is not human.
Yes.
He said that. And there are many of us who don't even know the difference. So how do you manage that kind of resource element?
I think the first step would be for us to see it as a tool. That's my approach. Is how do you see it as a tool, and how do you ensure that the humans are still at the center of the creation and of the creativity? If you're able to achieve that, because if we get in a world whereby AI is doing every single thing for us, including thinking, we get into a world, and the way we have evolved as humans is if you're not using a particular tool, you will lose it. If we stop using our brains as human beings, we would eventually use it. And there is a school of thought whereby AI is going to become, where intelligence is going to be commodified. And you do never want to get to that world. So I'm constantly telling people that whatever it is you're currently doing with AI, ensure that you can do by yourself. Ensure that you can, if you're writing or having AI as a writing assistant, that you're writing every single day. Because if you are not, after a while, you will lose that skill.
You deal with children.
Yes.
From age 6, you said, to age 13,
16.
14?
16.
16. That's a very formative period.
Yes.
How do you manage them with AI in mind?
Oh, children are already using AI. Okay.
How do you know?
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
I like that.
They have AI on their tablets. They have AI is on Google. You can't eliminate AI from the world of children. All right. So the best thing is to teach them how to still think and see AI as a tool. All right. Teach them how to ensure that what they're getting out of it is correct. Teach them to ask questions, you know, instead of leaving AI to just give it answers. Yes.
So there has to be interactive element between
There must be.
AI and the human.
Yes. There must
you.
be.
I can even give an example. So
Yes.
I have a son. I have two boys. One is 10. He has always loved coding.
You guys don't look like that. But glory be to God.
Yes. So he has always loved coding. He started coding in Scratch when he was
Coding?
Coding, yes. So computer coding, writing codes. Started doing Scratch Junior when he was like 4 or 5. So he's always loved coding. So he has always, because I studied computer science, and he has always been asking me to teach him a particular programming language, Python, and I just didn't have the time. So one day I just came around him on his computer, and I saw that he was asking, so he has Copilot, and then he will ask Copilot, write so and so that he wants to do, a game that he wants to build. So you ask him line by line what he should, how he should write the code, and then the Copilot to give him the lines of code, and then he'll put it into the engine. And I was like, oh, it's good initiative that you did not wait for mommy to come and teach you, which is good. But at that point, I had to tell him that this is not how to learn a programming language. You have to learn the fundamentals of the language, not just what the AI is giving to you. So I knew I didn't have the time.
It's no longer AI now teaching human, but interactive elements both ways.
So we had to get him an instructor to teach him the fundamentals of the language.
I'm sorry. I'm being told we have to round off.
Okay.
30 seconds. What do you advise government and parents to do?
Pay attention to their children. Don't feel overwhelmed by
Pay attention to children.
Yes, pay attention to children. I know it can be overwhelming, all this talk of AI plus economy plus, prices of things going up and, schedule and all that. But don't feel alienated from this whole AI thing. The best thing or the barest minimum you could do is, first of all, know the tools your children are using. All right, be aware of what they're using.
Well, they say we should wrap up. So what's your advice?
I think my advice for parents out there is every single child has that creativity and genius on the inside of them. Strive hard to see how you can bring it out. In whatever way means you can to do that. Give them a chance.
Long and short of it from Dami and Mukoso is that you should pay attention to your kids, see how creative they are, and then the best option would be really look at the things they do and make sense of them. Thank you all, and good night.